Hello, everyone. Hello, friends and enemies, and welcome to Girls Run These Worlds. Thank you so much for joining us for our second session of Alien. My name is Fiona, and I use she, her pronouns, and I have this incredible honor and privilege of running this series of Alien as the game mother, which is very exciting for this incredible cast of folks. Now, before I ask our wonderful cast, our wonderful crew to introduce themselves, let me just tell you a little bit more about Alien and what the stream is about at the top of the episode and the top of the session, really as well. So, the Alien RPG is published by Free League, which is also known for some absolutely cracking RPGs such as Tales from the Loop, Vassan, Coriolanus, Dragonbane, and many, many more. I'm a massive fan of these games, as well as being a massive fan of the Alien franchise, which, if you watched last week's episode, you'd understand why. As always, if you enjoy watching this game, watching us play it, I mean, first of all, you should be watching everything on Girls Run These Worlds. But if you want to try out Alien for yourself, we'll drop a link in the chat where you can get it. And of course, a massive thank you to Free League for sponsoring the stream. Woohoo! Now, with all that in mind, and I'll say this every time we start an episode of Alien, the world is incredibly bleak and is a dark place, with a lot of focus on in Alien's world of mature and dark themes, horror and violence. Now, with all the campaigns we've run here at Girls from These Worlds, the cast and I have had our session 0, gone over our lines and veils, and have our safety tools in effect. However, I just wanted to give you, the viewers, permission to keep yourself safe and take a break from watching our story should you need to. As I always say, you are more important than the roles at the table. Be good if I said it right, huh? Finally, the scenario we're using for this series is Chariot of the Gods, which is the first cinematic scenario written by Andrew E.C. Gasker in the 26 Draconis arc. And is this scenario? It comes in the Alien starter set. So I'm going to ask folks who have played this scenario through before or run it before to just be mindful and not put any spoilers in the chat and in the comments, and just keep the secrets until after the campaign has ended. Because if you do put spoilers in the chat, and they are just what I would call, as a British person, a bit of an arse, I can't guarantee your safety from the Xenomorph mod. But you do have my sympathies. So, with all that out of the way at the top of the episode, I'm going to ask the cast to introduce themselves going clockwise, which I assume if I point this way works. I never remember which way we go. And just introduce themselves, their pronouns, who they're playing tonight. And my question for this week for my wonderful crew is, if you could travel to any other planet, real or fictional, where would you go and why? So I'm going to throw it straight over to Arnica.
Hello. Hi, I'm Arnica Ross, she, her pronouns. I'll be playing Leah Davis, she, her pronouns. Our pilot, our badass pilot. Did you not fucking see me whip that ship last week? I sound a little rough this week. I've got a creeping crud. Boy, it's a shame a bunch of us stopped masking because this is the first time I've had a cold in 3 years. I'm not stoked. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. And any planet, oh my gosh. So here's the thing. I want all of them. I want all the real planets. I don't know if cosmic pica is actually a thing, but I'm obsessed with the idea of licking a rock from every planet. I want to lick a piece of I want to eat a little bit of I want to eat a little bit of moon dust. I just want to bust in and NASA, kick open door, and just heavy eye contact as I eat the moon dust. I want to eat the universe Galactus style, but I'll settle for like a little tiny bit of dust and be like, ah. So I'm starting it. I'm gonna lick a rock on every real planet and start from there.
How
I'm
is
going to
anyone
all
meant to
of
follow that?
Yeah, I know. Good luck, team. We'll pass it on.
Hi everyone, I'm Reina. My pronouns are she, they. I'm playing Wilson, whose pronouns are they, them. The company agent, the suit you love to hate. And I think, goodness gracious, it's a great question because there's so many fabulous worlds across all of science fiction. I've always been really attracted to. It's not really a planet, but like Nar Shaddaa, the smuggler's moon of Star Wars,
Yeah.
which is above a planet.
Sure.
I would love to check out Nar Shaddaa. Just see what's going on, all of these different cultures and people merging together, especially to blend everything that the Empire is not allowing. See what's going on. I bet they have really good like space ramen. That's my headcanon. I'm very food motivated, so that's my answer.
Good choice indeed.
Okay. I have the buffer now. I feel much better about potentially answering this question. Hey friends, it's me, JC Darcy. I use she, they pronouns. I'm playing Kyla Rye, who uses she, her pronouns. She is a resident roughneck, bitter little shit giver, and I'm happy to be here playing her. I believe that's everything that was prerequisite other than the icebreaker.
Yeah.
I'm not going to overthink it. The first thing that came to my mind, it was also a Star Wars planet, but the reference in my head was actually SWTOR, the MMO that I played many, many years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You start on Typhon, and it's just gorgeous. It's just really like peaceful and blue skies and nice lakes and forests and stuff, and I am feeling a need to get to nature at the moment. I would love to be somewhere peaceful and blue, so I would go there right now if I could.
That's a good choice.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I am just back recovering from a cold, but I'm feeling a lot better now. So Cham can return from dancing in the kitchen or whatever she was doing in the meantime. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character Cham, Lyron Cham, who is the cargo loader aboard the ship. And if there were any planet that I could go to that was fictional, the first thing that came to my mind was Gallifrey. Because I want to get my hands on one of those ridiculous big collars and just look really weird, and also get my hands on the TARDIS, because
100%.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, a proper Time Lord collar where you can't really see. You have to turn your whole body.
Yeah. It's like horse blinkers, but for your neck.
For your neck. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
And that leaves me. Hi, I'm Ida. My pronouns are she and her, and I will be playing Miller, the officer on board our ship, the Montero. Miller uses pronouns she and her. She is a very thrifty, no-nonsense kind of person, but is under very big financial and like career burdens under the yoke of the corporate overlords. As for planet I'd like to visit, I would like to visit the Star Trek pleasure planet Risa. I hear a lot about it. It sounds interesting. There's always pools. It always seems comfortable. So yeah, I'd like to go to Risa.
Perfect. Thank you. What a great answer. What a fine crew. Honestly, I know I said that last week, but I'm just going to say it again. What a fine crew. Before I dive into our recap, I'm going to quickly talk about the main game mechanic that you'll see come up in Alien. So when a character wants to do something where there's a tiny little bit of risk, I'll ask them to describe what they're doing and then ask them to do a roll using D6s that combines one of their attributes and one of their related skills. By adding the levels in that attribute and skill, they'll roll a dice pool of these D6s, and in most situations, they must at least roll 1 6 in order to succeed in the task in question. Really simple, really straightforward. However, life on the cutting edge of space is pretty brutal, and this is where the stress mechanic comes in. When making skill rolls, characters must also add a number of D6 dice known as the stress dice, usually a different color, but obviously we're online, so I can't. I trust them to choose their own sort of dice to the dice pool, so equal to their current stress level. So if they've got a stress level of 2, they'll roll their attribute and skill together, and then +2 for their stress dice as well. If they roll a 1 on one or more of their stress dice, that character risks panicking, and well, nothing ever good comes from panicking, right? Naturally, that means the more stressed a character is, the more chance they have of succeeding on difficult tasks or shooting things. Don't know why you'd do that. But there is more chance of failing, with bad consequences, panicking, and even dying. But players can do this thing where they can push their rolls so they can grab any dice that doesn't show a success and re-roll them. This is not without risk, however, because pushing a roll increases a character's stress level, and they must include the new stress level within the pushed roll. They can push the skill roll only once, unless they have a talent that tells us otherwise, and they can push any skill rolls except any roll that already contains a 1 on the stress dice or a death roll. The final little bit I want to mention is a very unique element about Alien, and this is the personal agendas. So in most cinematic scenarios, they're split up into 3 acts, and for each act, our characters have a secret agenda that motivates their choices. I've already said to the players that they're not bound to these agendas, it's just to help with roleplay, but if they do carry them out, at the end of each act, I will reward them with a story point, which they can spend for 1 automatic success. Finally, I'm like RPG Columbo, also. I have cleared this with the class in our session 0, but just so that the audience is aware, there is a traitor amongst us. One of our characters isn't who they say they are. They are, as the Gen Z would like to say, pretty sus. The traitor is a secret android working towards a completely different agenda, mimicking the person they have replaced in our story. Only the traitor and I know who they are, and should they get revealed, their game mechanics will change. But we'll get to that should it arise. I don't think it will. But see if you can guess who it is in the chat. I'll be interested to know. So with all that admin out of the way, my wonderful crew of the Montero, are you ready for session 2? Lots of... I can just see Annika going, oh no! You guys are... So, here is our recap. Last time on Alien Chariot of the Gods, the USCSS Montero has been in the process of running through the gauntlet, the trade route between Anchor Point Station and the frontier, delivering a special order for a Weyland-Yutani corporate account on Sutter's World. The order is currently packed within the ship's cargo hold, 72 high-pressure tanks of dangerous tritium gas. Each tank, by the way, is about the size of a small garbage truck. And this is in the process of decaying into extremely profitable helium-3. Once they've reached their destination and are in low orbit around Sutter's World, they would use Daisy, an old Weyland-Yutani flatbed cargo loader, to transfer the tanks from low orbit down to the planet's surface. However, upon waking up from hypersleep, the crew discovered that they were nowhere near their final destination, their hails to Sutter's World going unanswered. According to the star charts, the Montero had woken up much too early and was still travelling in deep space. Yes. Rai went about fixing a sensor glitch that had appeared just before takeoff, and despite having one slight ping halfway through of an approaching ship, she concluded that it was just a malfunction and nothing more. Mother had signalled that she wanted to talk to Captain Miller privately, and informed her that they had picked up a distress call from an unknown ship and needed to investigate. The mysterious transmission was too garbled for the crew to determine who had sent it, but Mother was in the process of triangulating its location and tracing it back to its source. Captain Miller had stopped the crew from their preparations and explained to them what was going on. As company rules dictate, not following the new priorities would mean the crew would immediately forfeit their shares and get no money for the current run. As the team absorbed this news, the Montero sensors detected something was approaching on a collision course with the ship. Mother warned of an immediate impact, with klaxons on the bridge raging as warning lights flashed red. Thanks to Davis' superb, skillful piloting maneuvers, Montero avoided the collision, and upon investigating further, the crew realized that it was a derelict ship floating in space without any running lights or beacons. After an initial scan, Mother reported that this was the USCSS Kronos, a Weyland-Yutani Helios-class spacecraft, which had been missing for 3/4 of a century. Now, unbeknownst to the rest of the crew, Wilson, our company agent, had received a new directive from Weyland-Yutani headquarters, Special Order 966. This Priority 1 order indicated that Wilson was to direct the crew to repair and return the Kronos, transfer the crew to the science vessel, and bring back all xenomorphic material. The directive had also authorized the use of force and indicated that the Montero should be removed from the equation. After a moment's pause, Wilson acknowledged this order. Mother reported that the Kronos was running on minimal power, and the only sign of life was her repeating SOS signal. Due to the nature of this discovery, she informed the crew that a salvage operation was now mandated by company rules. So their new priorities was to recover scientific data from the USS Kronos, escort the salvage Kronos to Anchorhead or another Weyland-Yutani facility, and save any crew members on the Kronos. After a quick discussion and handing out tools, the crew sent off Rai and Wilson, what I like to call the odd couple, as initial boarding party via the spacewalk between ships. And after cutting through the external airlock and noting some scratches and dents on the wall, slowly attaching the umbilical extension from the Montero to the Kronos to stabilize the pressure, Captain Miller and Davis also joined the away team, leaving Cham aboard the Montero. Upon arriving at the Kronos, the team was met with a grisly sight. A headless body laid strewn across the floor of 2 intersecting corridors, with a discharged shotgun lying nearby. A notable detail that Davis picked on was, apart from the missing head, was that the upper limbs of the body seemed a little bit too long and had stretched the compression suit until it had torn at the forearms. Wilson and Miller went to check in with the Kronos' mother mainframe, and Rye returned to the ship to refill her air supply, leaving Davis to ponder why somebody would be stupid enough to shoot in an enclosed space next to a bulkhead. Perhaps, dear viewers, we wonder why the crew left Davis by herself, as a missed observation roll indicated that she was not alone. But we returned to the scene. Miller and Wilson had got into the mainframe, and suddenly the Kronos systems had come back online and powering up the different life support systems, possibly as a reaction to a captain's presence on board. The temperature before was cold and freezing, and now you could see, all of you that were still on the ship, the haze of vapor as warm air begins to fill the corridors. However, a notification had indicated that the air scrubbers was, though active, no fresh air was being produced currently. And finally, the cliffhanger from last time, Mother declared that the cryo chambers had been deactivated and was droning on and on. I think that's everything, team. Did I miss anything at all? No.
There was
I didn't.
several things in there that I'd forgotten about, and I didn't want to be reminded of.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hate them all.
Oh dear. Well, let's jump back about, let's say, half an hour or so, and let's go to Cham. Cham, you have sort of waved off your captain and Davis as they go through the umbilical. I want to know, what is Cham doing in the meantime alone on the USCSS Montero?
I think Cham has not felt very useful up until this point and has just been ferrying cups of weak to maybe slightly stronger than is mandated coffee to everyone as they are preparing, because she's in charge of cargo loading. There's not really much for her to do at this point. The cargo's loaded, it's all done. But now that she's got her hands on this shiny new power loader, she's quite excited. And is perhaps just testing it out, maybe seeing if it can do any dance moves, that kind of thing. Just kind of offering a bit of a contrast to whatever is happening outside.
Yes, definitely doing the robot in some way. Okay.
Yeah, well, precisely.
So I'm guessing you're doing this in the cargo hold yourself. Can you do for me a strength heavy machinery roll? Plus, I believe your stress level we determined was 1.
Yes.
At this.
So strength for me is 5.
Mm-hmm.
And heavy machinery 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then stress 1. So that's a whole lot of dice.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 6, but only on my stress die.
Oh, no, that's fine. Phew. That's all good. That's all good. So yes, Cham, you're sort of like moving around, but you're also taking, maybe you're checking out how you can move stuff and looking into the tanks as well. And you suspect, looking over and moving them and checking the vitals on them as well, that about 50% of the tanks have gone into this harmless sort of helium gas, so they're still quite exposed. So you're like, whoa, careful. You know, you maybe do a couple of dance moves, turn around, maybe a moonwalk or two, but being very aware that it's still quite a dangerous place in the cargo hold. I would say at this point, Rye probably comes back in at this point. So I will leave you to discuss.
Rye will come like barreling back in, like tearing off the compression suit, frantically trying to find some more air to refill it, and just look at you like, this is fucked.
What's going on?
Cham,
is it?
This is absolutely fucked.
Okay. In what way?
There's a bloke, and he's got no head. And that was the point that I left, so it might have got even worse than that since.
Okay, I think Cham's gonna kind of disengage from the power loader and feel a bit guilty about having just been dancing around and come out and come up to Rye, give a tap on the shoulder, be like, are you okay?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't want to go back, but we've got to go back.
Is there anything that I can do?
I have no idea. I find a way for me to not have to go back on there and still get paid. I don't. It's fucked.
God, yeah. Okay. If
If you
there's
bring that, pointing at the power loader.
I
Will that fit down
mean,
the umbilical?
It certainly will. You think it might be a bit tricky to go down the stairs, the sort of ladder from the airlock. That's the only thing.
I mean, if there's people with no heads, then I'm pretty keen to have some form of protection, both for me and for you lot. So
I've got this. And whips out the incinerator. It's just
Nice.
like got the pilot light on, ready to go.
Sick.
And I'm not afraid to use it. But
Good.
As you say, I'm not afraid to use it. Suddenly, you hear outside.
I'm scared already.
I think again there'll be some sort of observation window from where you are in your cargo hold, and maybe you're sort of with your back turned, right, like saying, come at me, I'm fine, look what I've got, and then the lights behind you on the Kronos go on and start to turn on as the emergency power seems to have been restored in some way.
Oh, okay, that might be good.
Cool. Yeah. Have you got any idea how the head went away?
No. Decompression. His arms and legs were a bit fucked as well. It was not a good scene.
Okay.
We didn't see any blood, did we? That was something that was noted, as there was no
blood.
Yeah, I will note that detail. So that was a bit weird.
Do you think they had some kind of argument, or I don't know? That's so
with the
weird.
atmosphere. Yeah, maybe he definitely lost that argument, I would say.
Yeah.
I ran out of air because the corpo freaked out. By the way, that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I spent a long time calming them down, so I've used up a lot of oxygen. I'm gonna refill. I do not want to go back there, but I don't get paid if I don't do the job. So
yeah. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I'll come with a big chunky power loader.
That just makes me feel jealous, Cham. I wanted to go with that.
How about I pick you up in one of the arms and give you a ride?
Patronize me.
Okay.
I know we'd see that in the fan movie of our minds, but unfortunately not in this one.
I think it was Rye's mind as well. She thought about it for a second and went, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So what I would say, because you do have the capability of refilling your suit, it will take time. I would say you probably can refill your suit. He's currently on Air Supply 1, correct?
1.
Yeah, so I think it would take probably a turn to get it up to the next level. So if you wanted to fully recharge it, so that would be level 5, it would take another 4 turns, which is about 40 minutes. Yeah. You could always spend a turn or 2 and then go back in.
I might go. I'll take it up to 3.
Okay,
so
so
I'll spend
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
That's fine. And Cham as well, you also would have access to a suit as well, similarly, like with the helmet and the air supply with the ability to see that, and that will be at level 5 because you've not used it yet. Just so you know.
Can I not just hop in a fresh one? Is that not quicker?
Sadly, there's only 5 suits. Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah, unfortunately not. So yeah, but you are busy refueling, and I assume, unless you say otherwise, that you two would sort of work together to go back and rejoin our crew. Then,
Yeah.
cool. Let's go now to Miller and Wilson, if that's all right. Because I think I'd like to see Davis by themselves for a little longer, if that's okay. Miller and Wilson, you are in the Mother mainframe at the sort of response to Miller sort of talking to Mother and starting to input her particular key. This is all the stuff has come on, essentially. You can see it's taking its time, though. It is a very slow wake-up. You think this ship has been on minimal power for quite some time. I'll leave it to you to decide what to do next.
And Miller already verified that it's taking a while or the air is not coming on properly.
Yeah, you can see there'll be like vents and stuff, and maybe if you have a quick look outside, you can see the vents. The heat, you can see it's there, but it is freezing. Looking at your vitals in the HUD on your helmet, you can see that this place was well below freezing. If you think without your suits on, you would definitely suffer some sort of effect otherwise.
Okay, well, Wilson, clearly you're going to need air, and it's going to be really inconvenient to have to constantly going back and forth to the Montero to refill our tanks if we have to investigate here. So I think we should prioritize getting on the air first. But I start typing into the big ass mother keys on the mother console.
Mhm.
I want to look up the final logs. What happened right before?
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Typewriter style. I love that. Could you, Captain Miller, roll for me a wits com check plus your stress as well? We'll see what we get.
Oh no. That is not that great. No successes anywhere.
No successes anywhere. It is still rebooting. You can tell this computer again. It's now doing updates. You suspect actually that the Montero Wi-Fi has probably connected to the Kronos, and as a result of it being offline for so long, your more modern technology is helping reboot it and recalibrate it in some way. So as a result, it's got like 1 out of 9,999 files to update. So it's very hard to exit that process currently.
Wilson, what was the Cronus doing? And give me something tangible and actionable. Please.
Why would I know any more about what was happening on the ship than you do?
Why are we here then?
Because Mother woke us up. Company policy dictates that we don't leave stranded company property floating out in space. If one of our properties drifts close enough by another one and picks up a distress signal, we are contract bound to investigate and to assist the employees. That's just the way that it works. Believe you me, I don't want to be here any more than you do. I would love nothing more than to be going down a little clipboard and ticking off boxes and saying, yes, everything arrived on time and undamaged, going through the numbers, heck, even calculating how much of a loss we took. But we're here now. And we're not going to be able to figure out what else is going on in here or find out if anyone's even alive, if anyone's actually crawling out of those cryo tubes until this system finishes rebooting and we can actually crack in there and figure something out.
So we should sit here in a hostile, and by mean hostile, like we have no air, it's freezing, our biosuits are not going to be lasting very long. I mean, if you want to cost the company 2 ships instead of 1, that sounds like a splendid idea.
Wilson has been kind of like standing at the front of at the back of the room, like by the entrance. And I think leans into the door frame and crosses their legs a little bit, like the kind of like casual like lean up,
Yeah.
like a manager does when they're like kind
Ugh.
of coming by
Yeah.
your cubicle.
Yeah.
Like, if you could just tighten up the graphics on level 26, that'd be great, kind of
That'll be
thing.
great. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that'll be great.
And just there's a pause. If you, I think this would be a fun little scene to do, Ida, if you're okay with it. And goes, Captain, do you have a problem with me?
I'm sure you're a bang up fine person. And maybe in another life we could have been swinging back drinks together. Who knows? But I almost have to commend the the religiousness of the corporate speak. I get that we're all cogs in a little machine, and it must feel good to be a very big cog. But I, for one, don't like being run around ragged.
Listen, Captain. Every second that I've been drifting out here in the void, I've followed your orders. I cut through that door for you. I got everything set up. I helped get the umbilical across. I'm doing my best to make sure that everything goes by the book. Now, if you think that I'm not pulling my weight, you tell me what to do. You say jump, and I'll say hi. But this works both ways. I've heard it from you yourself. Everyone pulls their weight around here, right? Everyone's on the same team. You don't like the fact that I happen to spend most of my time filing numbers and writing reports, sending messages back and forth to Weyland-Yutani corporate, when you're out there making sure that everything is running on the ship, managing individuals, making calls, making the difficult decisions. Our paychecks come from the same place.
But is it possible that the book is wrong? Can that occupy a fraction in that, you know what, a very nicely sized, wrinkly brain of yours? Could that occupy a fraction, a sliver in there, that the book could possibly be wrong? And that someone with your capacities could possibly even look at us beyond cogs in the stupid machine?
Wilson looks down at the ground and takes a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to go there? All right. They shift their weight to the other side of the door frame to signal, like, this is the stage direction is like, that's a beat, right? In the text, right?
Pause.
We've all done theater. I do think the book is wrong. Sometimes I think it's an extremely unjust system. There's one way to do things. And if you don't do things the way that they want you to do, you get shelved. You get put in the back. I know a lot, maybe a lot more than you think, about just how high the ceiling goes at Weyland-Yutani when you're a certain kind of person. The company has a very specific vision of who should be in charge and who should be doing what things. And if you don't fit into this one very specific mold, you don't tend to go very far. Captain, I have spent a sizable portion of my life fitting into a very specific box. Not because I want to, but because I'm very, very good at it. Because I don't want to be stuck at the bottom of the ladder. I want a fraction of what other people have. And if that means that I have to play by the rules and I have to be the bad person, if I have to be the nasty little suit that goes around and tells people, you didn't do this, you didn't do that right, and I'll do it if that's what it means to get just a crumb of what the big fish have.
You know what the problem with all of that is, and what it's going to boil down to, and where I'm going to, at least myself, put it out and end the discussion. What I dislike the most about that I'm disgustingly the same. Go back to jamming the keys as if that's going to make Mother react faster.
Right. And I think as you're like smashing the keys, it's like Wilson like nods and is like, and that's why I'm willing to say that to you, because I know that you understand.
Yeah, progress.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, progress. File 2 of 9,999 files updated.
Christ. Is there any way to ascertain whether the oxygen or the air vents can be fixed so I can give my crew an easier time finishing this goddamn job?
Absolutely. So that is easy enough. You maybe take a quick scan of what Mother's outputs are reading, just out the bits that you can access. And you suspect that the air scrubber shaft, essentially, this sort of air ventilations, they have started, but you think you'd have to check them out for yourselves. Sounds like, it's something that's not been operated in quite a while, so maybe the carbon filters need replacing in some aspects. But you'd get more information on that if you go down to the bridge, which is on deck B, which I'm sure we'll show in a second. But before anything else, Davis, hello. Hi there. So I'd like to know, what is your plan? Because we last left you looking over sort of the shotgun at the edge of a corridor, and something scuttled crab-like past our sort of POV of you, which unfortunately you did not see, but the lights have come on, and you again get the same readings as everyone else at. The air is still not breathable, but it is slowly but surely heating up. The ship is now coming back online. What would you like to do in this moment?
Okay. So I've been here for a little bit. I'm waiting, and Miller hasn't come back, and Wilson hasn't come back, and Rye hasn't come back, and Cham's still not here. It's just me and the body, which, this is fine. It's fine. Actually, it is fine, because I'm really just, look, I've been doing this for a while. This is not it's my weirdest space body. I have never come across someone with no head, and they've like managed to decompress all their limbs out of joint. But it's not my first body. I'm just not, whatever. What's it gonna do? Get up and chase me? Fuck that. I'm fine. I don't care. I am, however, a little bit curious as to why why haven't Miller and Wilson got the heat back on? Is there maybe a panel or any kind of machinery in this junction that I'm in that would let me check on the environmentals now that everything's back on?
What a great idea. So this, I will say, it will transfer over to our map overlay, and so people can see where we are. And I am also going to open up that tab that I had open. Just, Darcy, let me know when it's on, so because otherwise I'm going to talk to myself for a little bit.
Yep, it's up.
Fantastic. So for sort of our viewers out there, so this is what the USS Kronos looks like from the side view, and we are currently on deck A. We have arrived through the airlock at junction A1 coming down there, and our wonderful headless body was sort of found in this area here, with Wilson and Captain Miller in Mother just now, and roughly around here It does. I know I said this off stream, but I still kind of know that I am stroking the map slightly. Davis is found over here somewhere. You can see Davis. If I move the map slightly, and this is the thing as well. Mother will have pinged to you at this point that there are maps of the Chronos. Certainly, Captain Miller, you would have got a notification, so everyone has access to it. So I'd say, Davis, you would also have access to this as well. And you can see on this map, looking down south, it sort of moves down into a longer corridor. Still, the light's still coming back on, flickering in that amazing 80s sci-fi horror way. But you also notice that there is sort of dots outside in sort of the body of the ship, and these are the air ducts. You can, you maybe look to one side and you see the sort of familiar aperture opening and closing of an air duct that you could easily go into if you need to. And the bigger dots on this map are just an indication of the zone, so how far away things are from hearing them. But currently, Davis, looking down this corridor, there isn't anything. You can see at the far end of the corridor, there seems to be like an intercom where you maybe would buzz through and to talk to everyone on the ship, essentially. But it doesn't seem to be any sort of terminal within this area that you are in just now.
Okay. Intercom down there. Is there a terminal I could get to without going too far, or would I really have to like head down?
Good question. Looking at this map on deck A, there she says checking. There is an access terminal you can see, and I'm going to point to it. It is going south, and then along the corridor, it is sort of here where my wonderful stroking hand is pointing, next to an elevator. It seems, just along the corridor from what seems to be the cryo chambers.
All right. I want to jump on my comms to the rest of the team, see if they can hear me, and tell everybody that since power's back on, I would like that I'm going to head down to a terminal, to the closest terminal to me, which is by Cryo 1, and see what can be accessed from the outside.
Sounds good. So yeah, you slow. Does anyone reply? And I'd say even the people on the Montero will hear this as well. They have very good suits in that sense. Signal, there's no latency. There's nothing in that one. There's no lag or anything like that. So yes, does anyone respond to Davis's not suggestion? You're going to go do it, I assume, but saying I'm going to do this statement, I guess.
Knowing that there was a corporate order to quarantine the science team on this ship, presuming that they were in cryo, since there's no one on the ship immediately, I think Wilson immediately hears this like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go check out the cryo pods, like kind of like that jostles them out of their like moment with Miller. Davis, please be exceptionally careful. We don't know anything about these people. We don't know what happened, whether or not any one of those pods might have killed that person that we found earlier. Just keep a healthy distance, please.
Oh my God, Wilson, you are precious. You're gorgeous. You are too cute. When is the last time there was actually a slasher in space, Wilson? This is not a horror movie. This is a cheap haul where they have fucked me out of my money twice. They're about to fuck me a third time, and the least thing you can do is not try to scare the shit out of me as I'm wandering around this 75-year-old garbage ass relic trying to find a terminal next to cryo. I won't go in cryo because trust me, if everything is trying to turn back on and there's no air, I don't think I want to go in cryo.
I like the idea, Wilson, that because Davis is quite close, you can hear her saying this both in your head and very close to you,
Yeah.
as she's slowly walking down the corridor and echoing. But yeah, so Davis slowly goes down. I would say at this point, Cham and Rai, you can re-enter the space, you have just for Rye's benefit, you've got air supply 3. Oh, you know what? That is a good point. Those people that's still on the Montero, could they do me an air supply check, please? So roll your air supply, and if you get a 1, let me know on any of your dice.
No ones for me, very luckily.
Oh, you're fine, Cham. You're still on. Sorry, the Rye and Cham were still on the Montero just now. Those people on the Kronos. Sorry, is what I
On the
meant to say.
Kronos.
Yes, apologies.
No
Apologies. There's 2 ships in this game, and I've already mixed them up.
Well, I'm down to 2 air.
Okay, good to know.
I got a 6. Does that do anything on my die?
No, it's unfortunately not. It's basically if you get a 1, that's reduced things. 6s
I don't photosynthesize.
You don't regain. You don't go, oh, emergency air, pop. Yeah, sadly not.
No ones for me then.
Fantastic. Annika?
Yeah, no ones.
All right, cool. So yes, Wilson, you are very aware that a slight, maybe blinking light just letting you know that your air supply is slowly diminishing. But yes, so Cham and Rye, you return to the airlock. Are you bringing your power loader?
I think maybe I've brought it up as far as the stairs down, and then I'm possibly just going to leave it there so it's accessible in a pinch.
You just park on the double yellows outside.
Yeah.
You will see, I won't go to that map just yet, but on deck D, you can see that there is a way to get in via the cargo bay. And thinking back to where you've just been in your own cargo bay, you know that you have your Daisy, this cargo lifter, which, it could carry heavy objects, such as your power loader through that end, but you'd have to go underneath, and you don't know currently if you're able to get in, if you need to destabilize and that sort of thing. But you think if you were going to try and get something heavy in, then you'd probably go through the cargo entrance on the Kronos, because you have the map for it now. But yes, so you instantly, both of you sort of go down the ladder. I will say, for Cham's benefit, you don't get a stress level from seeing the body, because Rye has conveniently told you all about it. So so you're very prepared for seeing that there. And yeah, what would you two like to do at this point?
So is Davis gone? We don't see Davis.
You would have heard Davis speaking, and you can surmise with the map where she has gone. She won't have got far, I'd say, at this point. So you can join her or follow her, or you can do something else.
I feel like that's a fucking stupid idea to be wandering off on our own.
Yeah, I think maybe
keep her company.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
I think Miller over the comm would have just suggested to the two to Ryan Cham, who I think are the more mechanically inclined members of the crew, like, we're going to try to get the air up. Might be needing vent replacements, so definitely give Davis a hand and see what we can do to, make this a little more hospitable for us.
Yeah, no problem, boss.
Can do.
You all right in there?
Just with my super new best buddy here. Tell me all about it, Rye. You seem to be very good at making friends nowadays.
Oh, wait. It was me thinking you were trying to make me jealous. No, not at all.
To work then.
Have fun.
No.
Oh. Yeah, all right. I forgot that's against regulations. Yeah, all right, okay.
I've never.
I would never.
It was terrible.
Yeah. Miller had fun once.
Never again.
Never again.
Yeah. I'll hop
right
on and say, Davis, hold up. We're coming to help you out.
Oh, good. I mean, y'all left me here all by myself. I figured y'all just wanted me to die in the dark all alone. Come on.
I'm gonna die. I'm not. We don't need another corpse. You want to watch my beautiful head explode?
Your beautiful head.
Exactly.
With your above average face. Come on, let's go.
Oh, thank you very much.
Wow. As you say in space, damn. So, yes, so Davis, Cham, and Rai, you make your way down to the. I clicked off my screen for a second. You make your way down to this part of the area so that you see the terminal itself. And yeah, here it's interesting looking around the walls. There is no like dents or marks or anything like that that you saw in the airlock, but it is incredibly eerie, very still. Like, again, you can hear actually as you walk past it that the air scrubber shaft here, where I'm sort of signaling and stroking, you can hear that the fans have turned on and are, even at this distance, even with your headsets, your helmets on, it is making quite a noise. You think again, going in there to see what's what, that will be the best way to determine like how to replace it or how to clean it, perhaps. But yes, you make it to the access console here, and I'd say as well, as you all sort of pass this initial corridor, you can see the door to the cryo chambers. I told a small lie there. There is claw marks around this doorway, as if something was trying to scratch its way in. But looking at it, and maybe one of you tries to push or go towards a panel, you can see there's a big red sort of X currently, indicating that it's been locked from the inside. You think you might be able to open it if you want to do a heavy machine roll, but at the same time, Davis, if you're going towards the access terminal, then you can also do that.
Okay. So to confirm, we have come down this left-hand side corridor. No, that's the right hand.
Yep.
So we've come. Okay, so we went down that one and then crossed past cryo 2 and 1 as opposed to turning at the top. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I see.
Mhm.
So we've walked past cryo 1. Cryo 1, there are faint signs of claw marks. And
around this door here.
okay, around
the
that
main
door.
thing and it looks like it's currently locked because there's no power to it.
Okay. Nah. No. Here's the thing. Everything else so far, I have been able to very reasonably go, okay, I've never seen decompression damage like this before, but I can't see everything. Surely, bad machinery and garbage materials and weird decompression at the wrong time will make something I've never seen. We are way too far back for this to be any kind of decompression damage. I'm going to kind of reach back. I'm not even looking, so I really hope I don't pop any of my good friends in the face as I just kind of flail behind me with my fist trying to punch somebody in the shoulder going, do you see this? What is this? I'm jabbing myself in the ear trying to raise Miller. I'm like, Miller.
Yes.
Yo, Miller, there's okay, so I don't want to say there's a tiger stronger than a spaceship on this spaceship. And I definitely don't want to say that Rye was right about me maybe getting serial killed if I walked here by myself. But
That's
there's
true.
been serious damage to part of the interior bulkheads, man. You and Wilson need to come look at this shit.
What do you mean damage? Like you
I
said it
mean,
might be
like,
compression. You said it might be compression damages. Or panels
it looked like
crumpled.
fucking decompression damage up at the front where there was goddamn decompression, but we're way the fuck in the back where there ain't shit happening, and it looks like goddamn Battle Cat tried to claw his way through. I don't know what to tell you. Miller, come look at this.
Mother, did we catch these same claw marks when we went in, right?
Yes, the airlock you came in,
Yep.
so in junction A1. Yeah, there was definitely I think, yeah, and also Davis obviously would have seen this as well. It's very similar marks. Certainly the airlock had a lot more. This one definitely has, yeah, it looked like something was trying to get out of the airlock, and something looks like it's trying to get into the cryo chambers.
Okay, Davis, do you have to the damage, the tiger, whatever the fuck you saw? those marks are before the panel to try to get the environmentals up? Is there any way you can just like kind of sideswipe it and not interact with any space tigers?
I mean,
Fucking
yeah,
damn it, space
I ain't
tigers.
going the fuck in there. Whatever the fuck is it? I don't know if it wanted in. I mean, it's trying to get in. So, look. I'm just letting you know. There's something is not good. Wilson, whatever you know, whatever you don't know, if you can holler back to corporate and be like, "Hi, were you hauling space tigers?" Look, for real, Wilson, me and you, let's pretend we're buddies for a minute. Let's pretend we're besties. I need you to call corporate and find out what the fuck got loose on this ship. And like, when did it get loose? Should I be worried now? Should I be worried I'm going to find the corpse of a space monster? A 7th generation space monster? A space monster in a sharp purple suit who goes, yow, like
Davis,
the cat. Like, what
Davis,
should I be scared of?
Davis.
Oh, yeah, I said the cat to y'all.
Yeah. Davis.
Fine.
Got
What?
this? And you know
Yeah,
what? Let's imagine that space tigers are scared of incinerators.
Then I've got you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, you know what? Fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Just remember. Everybody said, Davis, don't worry about it. I'm going
I
to go
didn't
check
say
the
don't worry
environment.
about it, Davis.
No, you said don't worry about it. You said don't worry about it. Ryan's got a
You know,
flamethrower. It's
fair
fine.
enough.
I'm going to go check the environmentals.
Fair enough. I'll be behind you soon with Wilson.
I think another air supply roll is needed, as there's a lot of conversation happening.
Yeah.
People with short attention spans who haven't had to do one of these today, remind me, you roll as many d6 as you have supply?
Yes.
Correct.
And if you
get
roll
one?
ones, then you reduce your supply by 1.
That's not going to happen, so I don't need to know about that rule.
Oh, cool.
Your
I just,
confidence is overwhelming.
My confidence worked. Let's go.
I just got 3 1s in a single roll.
No!
You wasn't even fighting. You was just standing there anxiously listening to me yell at Miller, I guess.
Yeah, I was hyperventilating slightly because I don't like conflict. So
yeah,
I'm just
I think that's literally what it is. You're like, guys, let's all just be very calm and maybe. I don't think Cham has a little book of calm from the Wayland Yutani account, but you must have something similar that you're probably doing your mantra through.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I have finally rolled a 1 and reduced my air. I was yelling like that. I yelled out a whole air tick.
Sorry, you were yelling?
I sure was.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not quiet. There's nothing Davis does is quiet. Davis's voice starts at a 7.
Let me hang on.
And just reminder that Rye had a particular machine on her. It goes beep beep beep
like,
when
It does,
there's a
isn't
party
it?
nearby.
Sorry,
I
was gonna
actively use it, and I'm not. And Fiona's got the book. And Fiona,
I've got
can
the
you
book
just
out.
can we just see all the post-it notes again, please?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of post-it notes. Tee-hee-hee. Oh, let's see. Oh, observation 8. That's nice. Let me see. Or is it 8? Or is it? Yes, it's 8. Hang on.
69?
No.
350?
2 4s.
Normally, I love watching GMs have a really good time in their game, but I'm in this game. I'm scared.
So, Davis, you are at the terminal. What would you like to do?
So the first thing I want to do is pull up the environmental controls and see if the machine will tell me where exactly the problem is. Is the problem in the scrubber shaft? Is it off to the sides? Is something? I'm trying to pull up this internal schematics for the air.
Perfect. Yeah, you don't need to roll for that per se, because it is quite easily accessed. You are quite close to the air scrubber shaft. Let me find the. So yeah, so you see on the schematics, and all of you will see this as well, that there's a very large shaft going from sort of deck A all the way down to deck C, and essentially this is the ventilation main thing. and you get a very boring video, perhaps telling you how it works, how it is essentially these massive carbon filters sort of clean the air whilst churning sort of machine electrolytes, the water underneath. Basically, the water heats up, it rises, and it comes back down as condensation. Currently, looking at the vitals, the water in Deck C, this sort of water-filled chamber, is currently frozen, but it is slowly defrosting. Once it defrosts, hopefully it will start to move up. But there's an indication that these fans, they are like covered in something, they're very grimy, so they will need to be either cleaned or replaced. And you can hear, like I said, as you pass them, you can hear them going. They are moving because it seems to be quite noisy. But there's definitely something you can see on sort of the vital signs that is sort of clogged up. So it just needs a little bit of a clean, you think?
All right. So I kind of scooch to the side. I've got our two, grease monkeys with. I got our mechanicals with us, so I kind of scooch to the side so that they can get a real clear shot in at all the information it's giving about the fucking pool's frozen and the fans have 3/4 of a century of dust on them. And I'm just kind of pop a line back open to Miller, and I'm like, well, there's good news, bad news. Not like it's working. It's just taking its sweet fucking time. We can't do shit until the fucking water at the bottom of the air filtration system melts.
All right.
You could speed it up a little. Incinerator.
You'd also notice
flamethrower the bottom of the pool.
I'm using this. At some point today, I'm using this. It's too cool to not use.
So two things quickly, because you would know this. So firstly, the only way to access the air scrubbers is through one of the vents, as you can see sort of on the diagram. I'll move in a little closer so you can see it. Enhance. So you guys are sort of here just now near the terminal, and you can see here by two other I've completely forgotten what they're called. Intercoms. You can see there's a very small dotted line that is the indication of a vent, and it goes off into the air scrubber shaft there. You think it'd be big enough for one person to go through, so probably one person would be able to clean it. The other thing you'd be aware of is whilst the water is frozen at the bottom, the reason it gets sort of heated is because of electricity pulse that goes through it. So ideally, you don't want to be standing in the water when it does that, because you will get electrocuted. You think your best bet is, whilst it's heating up, is to go clean the air filters as quickly as possible. You think it would take roughly about half a shift, so that's 4 hours, just to go through this and make sure it is working, functioning, and if there's any filter that needs replacing, going to find where the materials for that would be.
Where are the air filters? In that
in this the air scrubber shaft, which goes down. Yeah, so you can access it at the top, and it goes all the way. It's like a big, basically, I don't want to say void because you're already in a void of space, but it's essentially like a cone. Essentially, it is like one of the tendrils at the top that sort of goes down deeper and deeper to like a chamber on deck C.
Jam and I can get that sorted out right quick.
Yeah, happy to just get a bit of scrubbing in. No worries.
Sounds amazing. You're great. All right.
Say it again.
No.
I should have a recorder on me. I should get them recorded for posterity. Next time.
In the meantime, Miller was told to Wilson. Okay, they're going to try to get the air up. In the meantime, I really recommend that you and I walk together and really do one of your favorite pastimes. We're going to inventorize, because I really think that we have 2 corpses out in the front. See who else, where else they are listed, so we can come back and make organized runs on what needs to be transferred back to the Montero. You have a clipboard and everything.
I don't know if we should be taking anything off this ship right away, but at least we can get a sense of what they were carrying and what's going on.
I mean, the bodies, we should bring them back. We can put them in cryo back on the Montero. They can be sent back to their families for closure.
Well, that's true, but we can also store them in cryo on the Cronus. I mean, assuming the Cronus can be repaired, it should be able to, once we get everything running once again, drift back under its own power to the nearest way station.
Fine, but let's keep things a little neat. Let's not have like surprise corpses that'll, freak us out, make us gasp. I point to Davis's blinking indicator. You don't unnecessarily make us run out of air faster than we need to.
Yeah, well, I'd like them to get the stuff working again. It'd be really nice to take this bubble off, and I've got a yellow indicator light on my suit here.
It'll take a while. That's why I'll join you. Because if that gets too low, at least it can push you along a little faster than your legs can carry you in an oxygen lacking state. You're welcome.
You're all heart, Captain.
Say that again.
So it sounds like Captain Miller and Wilson are going back to the Montero.
To clarify, my recommendation is to like walk around like the junction and the stairwells of the Kronos and see like what is the corpse situation. Do we need, so we know later where to drag out bodies, pile them.
Right.
Cool. Good to know. I would say, so you can tell, just a quick walk around there is no other bodies currently. You get to the same point with the cryotubes if you go that far. It's like it seems locked currently. You do see as you pass there is a stairwell, which is sort of in the center of the map just now, and that is completely sort of not closed off. What's the word? Collapsed. Sorry, I was like closed off, collapsed. Yeah, so that stairwell, like you sort of look down and you see it is completely sort of something must have happened where it just the brickwork, the metalwork or whatever, it is completely gone, and you can actually look down several flights of stairs to I think to deck D. Let me just check. Yes, to deck D. No, to deck C. But you can see that junction A1, the sort of a ladder situation that you normally have on some marines, that does go down to all 4 levels. So you have a look up here. You can also see those 2 lifts as well at the bottom of the map there. One on the left, one on the right. Oh, those are fun lifts because one of them, you can see, where's it gone? That's not good. Hang on. You can see with one of the lifts, they also look like checking the buttons as if they also go down all the way down to deck D. But one of them, let's say the one on the left, looks like a firefight has happened within it. There is buckshot and dried blood peppering the interior.
What
the one on the right is a completely different story. The shaft doors are slightly ajar, and as you sort of maybe peer gently into it, the elevator you can see is actually crumpled at the bottom of the deck, at the bottom of deck D. And it looks like, judging by the walls, somebody's thrown an incineratory grenade behind it, just for good measure. You wonder, as the sides of it look very much burnt and smoke-filled. So there's one slightly working elevator, but it's not in the best condition, and there's one that doesn't work at all. And so the easiest access, I guess, to get down would be junction A1 currently.
So to clarify that, the lift on the bottom right.
Yes, that's the one that's completely
like the car itself has like collapsed.
Correct.
And so there's nothing except the tensile wires.
Exactly.
And a bunch of flame damage. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, you got it. Yes.
Perfect. I mean, not, but understood.
Understood. Yeah, no, I perfectly understood.
What is going on this? Okay, so we've got at least one body that we found. Cause of death yet to be determined, but
lack
obviously
of a head.
Well, yes, the most obvious. Extensive damage to the exterior bulkheads and also the interior, and it seems to be consistent. There's similar markings. I'm not a scientist, but those look very similar. The gouges, at least.
But this also looks like someone was trying to stop whatever was down there from getting further up. Otherwise, up here there'd be even more of, and I point back towards the claw signs and the other shaft where it had blood splatter you said on it.
Yes, and that sort of damage is exclusively limited to the interior of the ship. If they were attacked by space pirates or something, there would be more damage to the exterior. There would be cave-ins, scorch marks, it's something, autocannon fire. It's like something exploded inside. I don't like this.
We have some climbing to do.
Do you want to go down?
Oh, is this the part where we can disregard the book? The book says I gotta go down or I don't get paid.
There's kind of a look on Wilson's face that's kind of like shock, and then it's the kind of like kind of sarcastic. It's like screw the book, but we're doing it anyway.
All right. So then my question then to the captain and Wilson. So are you going down via the lift or are you going down by the junction?
I would go. Ida would think it's better for Miller to go down the junction and just like kind of flashlight see the situation before committing to going all the way down.
That makes sense.
What says
Wilson
and or Reina?
YOLO.
He's like,
I'm here for a good time,
shaft?
not a long time. Listen.
That is fine. So so you guys are going down the junction shaft to the next deck, which I will come back to after the break. But before we do that, I want to know, before we go to the break, this cleaning of air scrubbers. So what I'll describe is that for the next 4 hours, either Rai or Cham will be in the air shaft. Now, whoever does it, they roll for it, but the other person will give them help. So they'll, and probably Davis as well, if you're helping at this point, unless you're going to do something else, you'd give them the help action. So I want to know who's going in to clean the carbon filters.
I mean, Cham is short but strong, like a sort of very buff Shetland pony. So I feels like she would be able to like squirm in through the vents and like get some good scrubbing in.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask the meta question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's a heavy machinery roll, and I genuinely think that Cham is the stronger in that stat.
It would be a heavy machinery roll.
Yeah, I have 5, 6. I have 8 dice in that, so yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Lordy.
But I think Darcy knowing that is not the same as Rai being okay with acknowledging that, and so there might be a little bit of no. I can do it. I'll be fine.
Look,
I'll be way more efficient.
I've not done anything to help yet. I need to do something, or I'll lose my shit. Come on, let me do something.
All right, I'll do this for you.
I will bravely let you go ahead. Yes,
I will bravely let you crawl into the elevator shaft.
You may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
Darcy and Rai both, 100%.
And Davis, are you planning to help with them, or are you? What's your plan currently?
Okay. Look, it's not that I don't want to help, because I do. I want to help.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to stand here and touch carbon stuff. But I kind of pat my pocket, and you've gotten Rai, we've crewed together long enough that you are familiar with that rattle, rattle, rattle sound that pops, and you can hear that there's significantly less pills rattling around in my shirt than there should be. As I go, they got a med lab, and I'm just gonna go back where, yo, they give me enough for when I'm awake. I'm now going to be awake for several extra days. I'm just saying, Waylon Yutani and I have an understanding. And that understanding today is going to be kind of soft enough for me to just go check the med lab. Look, I'll be right back. And then I'll come touch your gross carbon things. And there'll be a sheet of dust like 17 feet long. It'll be very funny. We'll all be like, ha 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 ha, especially me. I'll find it super funny. In about 40 minutes, I'll be back.
Listen, I thought you'd made an attempt at not doing it as much.
I did. That's why you still hear 1.5.
1.5. All right, listen. Be fast. Because if Miller comes down here and says, well, there's Davis, not... If I have to cover for you.
If Miller comes here, Davis went to take a shit. I'll be back.
Oh my God.
So just to clarify, Davis is going off by herself again.
Davis is going off by herself.
Cool.
Just determined.
Yeah. That's good. Well, we'll get to the med lab after the break. But Cham, I would like you to make for me a heavy machinery roll. So that is your strength plus heavy machinery plus your stress plus an extra d6 because your friend Rye is helping you.
Nice. I will do the base roll. I got 1/6, and then
Nice.
stress die. That was a 5, so I'm all good.
Good. That's all right. So yes, the work happens. Like you take your time. You sort of again, Die Hard style. I know there's other styles. Okay, you go on your belly, you go through, and you peek out, and you can see it is a long drop down to the disc, and you can see the fans very slowly, one or two, and it's very slow work. I also want you to make for me a wits observation check at a with a -2 penalty. So that means you do your wits plus observation plus your stress die plus -2 of your base die because it is incredibly loud in here. The fans are going. It is very hard work.
Cool. That will leave me with 1 base die and 1 stress die.
Okay.
And I got a 1 on my stress die and a 4 on my base die.
All right. So we're going to do a panic check here. So this means I need you to roll a d6, Cham, plus your stress level and tell me what you get. So it's currently a +1.
Cool. So that's 2 dice. I got a 6 and a 2.
No, sorry. Roll just one of those and then
One
plus 1.
Cool.
Yes.
I will do that again.
Get you roll that again because that's not fair.
No worries. That's a 3 + 1, so 4.
4. Okay. It is loud. It is actually kind of overwhelming considering how space is usually silent and a void. This noise is actually deafening, and you have to take a couple of, it's slow work. You are getting it done, but you are taking your time, and you have to stop every so often. But frankly, your friend Rye is just outside, probably shouting over the fans encouragement, and eventually you start to, again, looking at the fans themselves. They are caked in decades of grime and mold, and you just, you're taking your time. You're like literally with your suit scrubbing it off, letting it fall perhaps, and eventually you get enough off that the fans start to work, but it takes you 4 hours. And before we cut to break, because unfortunately you didn't succeed on that observation check, on a fan, maybe a little bit above you, one that you've not reached to just yet, there is what looks like seaweed with slight egg-type things that seems to have grown over the whole fan. And as you sort of are dislodging it, one of them just opens. And you don't see it as you're just sort of working away because you're trying to get, passing through the noise and stuff. The sort of almost like, I don't know what the terminology is, but when birds fly in sort of flock formation, it's like that, but tiny, tiny spectacles of dust just pop, and then it gets sucked down into the air filter and go. I think we'll take our break there, if that's all right. I hope you're enjoying this game of Alien. We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so. But in the meantime, watch these adverts, support Girls Run These Worlds, get some water, take some meds, don't have nightmares. We'll see you after the break. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Alien. I hope you had a good break. We certainly did. And let's just get right back to it. We'll just unpause the film and continue. So, as we leave Cham and Rai in the scrubber shaft just now, we're going to go down to Deck B, which this lovely map has. So I'll indicate where Captain Miller and Wilson, sorry, I almost forgot your name, Wilson. How rude of me. I know. So you guys have decided to Deck B currently, and so you're at this junction here, Junction B1, and you know from the schematics that the bridge itself is ahead of you, where all the information, such as finding out more about the systems, also piloting the ship once the engines are running, that would also be there as well. But you have always other places to go as well. I'll just slowly move down on the map so you can see. We've got some vestibules, we've got a corporate suite, living area, a med lab, maybe we'll go there soon, a science lab, and then, of course, the reactor core at the end. The one thing you will notice is on your maps, it indicates that there is, at the back of the ship, there would be a science module. But as you sort of are looking and comparing possibly, the schematics that Montero Mother has given you and the schematics, or the sort of updating things that the Kronos has given you, the science module is not there. This is a void currently. And looking through the sort of the logs now, again, maybe you put in that request. It has been queued up, Captain Miller. It has revealed that that science module was ejected when the ship went back into space, but there's no reason given why. But back over to you, Captain Miller and Wilson. What would you guys like to do?
Looking at all this, it seems like the best thing to do might be to start by seeing if the systems and life support, the sensor stations, are working properly.
All right, come and join me in the top.
Cool. All right. So as you make it into the bridge, you can see that, again, it is slowly but surely powering back on. The blast shutters around sort of the windows, the observation, is currently lowered, shut tight around the viewports. Viewports is what I was looking for in terms of the word. You can see that there is soot on the ceiling, and several of the stations in this bridge area have been burnt out. But as you can see from, I will actually zoom in. Brilliant. Sorry, I am getting distracted. So I'm going to enhance. So you have the comm station at the top. Sorry, at the bottom where you've just come in, you can see a display table, and this is where you would normally have hologram technology, where you would see like sort of various geographical maps of any sort of surveyed land that you're or any planet that you're on. Currently, this whole table, the holographic table, display table, sorry, looks burnt out. It looks broken. It is flickering on and off, but it seems like there was a fire and it is beyond repair. You also have a sensor station to the left of the holo table, a life support monitor on the right. Up close to the bridge, you have 2 pilot stations, which need a little bit more investigation. And then finally, the command station and furthest north part. What would you guys like to do?
Is it clear from a cursory investigation if the burns were caused by an external source or if it was like an electrical fire?
Having a quick sort of cursory look, you suspect it was an electrical fire of some description from the holo table itself.
Wish one of the techs were down here so they could actually see what we're looking at here. Wilson pulls one of the like panels aside a little bit, like a little bit of dust just comes out and like cakes onto the bubble dome helmet, and they like kind of wipe it off, like in reflexively coughing, but of course it's not in their lungs immediately because of the bubble. Yeah. Haha. Right? Foreshadowing. It looks like something went wrong with the system here, and bad wiring or some kind of internal damage. It's unclear, but it seemed to cause everything to spread to everything else. I wonder if we can get the rest of these terminals working. Might be able to find something else out.
I mean, this doesn't look very salvageable. And the idea that we're going to have to haul this it seems really unfeasible.
Well, let's get life support working first. And then we can determine whether or not we're going to have to tug this thing back to port.
Much easier if we knew what important things we had to gather or ascertain, and then take that back with us on the Montero.
It would be easier if Mother wasn't updating.
It'd be cost effective.
Tensions are high. I understand that. If there is something here that is working, I will see if I can get anything useful out of these rigs. Who knows? Maybe I saw earlier when we were walking down here, there was a company suite. Maybe there was another agent down here. Maybe their terminal wasn't cooked along with whatever other electrical fire was down here.
I'm really curious to see the inside of a corporate suite.
You've never been called into the principal's office before?
It's really handy that the Montero doesn't have a principal's office in that regard.
Yeah, you're more of a new age type manager.
I don't feel complimented by that at all. Okay, this looks fried, and it's not going to be really useful for me to just go in here and pull out wires. I mean, Cham and I are going to chew my ear off, and they'd be right to. So let's look around to see what else of import or value I can later convince you to try to take away rather than leave here on.
All right, sounds good. I guess both of you make for me a wits observation check before you leave the bridge.
Love to.
Thanks.
Plus stress.
Yeah.
I've got quite a bit of stress.
Annoying black die I'm using for
Panic.
Okay. All right.
A 6 on the stress die. But
Excellent.
so,
Yeah,
one
that's
success.
it. Fantastic. So yes, so there's a success. Let's go, Wilson. So what are you currently at in terms of stress?
I've got 2 stress.
2 stress. Okay, so if you roll a d6 and what +2, this is your panic roll.
That's a total of 6.
Total 6. You are getting agitated now. The captain is not getting off your back. And you are doing as best as you can. You're thinking back to the book of Wayland Yutani, the little book of Wayland Yutani. And it is, you are beginning to stress out. If you could rub your temples, you would. But you cannot with the helmet. You're barely keeping it together. So, good to know. All right. But you do get 1 success, Captain Miller. So you notice before you leave that one of the pilot stations, Pilot Station 1, so that's the station on the left of this wonderful map, there seems to be an axe embedded in the console. It looks like somebody's taken an axe to it and has just gone ham at it. So that pilot station is completely unusable. The second pilot station looks untouched. But currently is still powering on. Maybe a couple of lights are flickering and whatnot. So it does seem that the ship is pilotable by at least 1 pilot. But you do notice that somebody has definitely sabotaged one of the pilot stations.
There are blood and guts on one lift, and clear signs that someone tried to explode out the other lift. And someone asked the station. Scientists, very smart people, are trying to contain something on this ship and trying to ensure that this ship doesn't move.
That, or there was a especially bloody mutiny or something like that.
Yeah, but mutinies don't work in these situations where, Mother, would I have known that if the, are there escape pods, were they all intact?
With a cursory glance through schematics, it looks like all the escape pods are missing from the Kronos.
Something's not right. Something's not adding up. Mutiny, you want to keep the ship. You want to get somewhere else.
I don't know. You keep these eggheads contained up here for long enough, and people are bound to start losing their minds.
I guess they're going to get the book thrown at them later. Come on to the suite.
Speaking of people who have lost their minds, in a sense,
Oh, no.
Maddie. No, not
That's
Maddie.
segue.
Sorry, not Maddie. Wow, sorry.
Personal attack.
My brain did a restart right there, everyone. I apologize. Davis is who I meant to say in terms of you are going towards the med lab. I will say you sort of scoot down the junction B1. I think you can sort of hear chatting in the bridge, and you surmise that Miller and Wilson are sort of there for the moment. You just casually, just how I would describe it as tootle away towards the med lab, which is at the bottom of this map on main deck B. What are you thinking, Davis? What's going through Davis's mind just now?
So mostly I'm thinking that I need to be quiet because look, I've talked about this with Miller, I've talked about it with Rye, I've told everybody I'm gonna do better, and I am. I am doing better. I am doing significantly better. I'm not, it's fine. I'm just, look, there are things you have to look out for. Nobody wants to be stuck in a little tin can with me when I can't really drive and my head hurts and my eyes are, you know what? I'm doing this for the crew. Like, this isn't just for me, especially if I have to drive this 3/4 of a century old junker back to somewhere while towing my cute little look. The last thing I need is shaky hands. And the second to last thing I need is Miller hearing me sneak past. So I'm being just good and quiet as I kind of wander slowly. I do pause for a second by the air scrubber shaft just to see if I can hear, stuff falling down as Cham's working. Make sure there's nothing weird happening that I don't have to run back upstairs for. Make sure I don't hear, oh no, I'm hanging from the fan. Someone help me.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, if you're sneaking, my dear Davis, I need you to roll me an agility mobility check plus your stress. And I must say, saying ability mobility is a lovely word to say out loud.
So agility plus mobility is 7.
Plus your stress.
And my stress is, Lord, my stress is still just 1. Ha 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 ha. I am so unbothered. All right, so agility, mobility, I got a 6, a 5, 3 4s, 2 1s, and then on my stress die, I got a 1.
Sorry. Okay, so you succeed, but also you panic. So roll for me a panic check. So roll a d6 and add your current stress level to it, and tell me what you get.
All right. All right, my current. So I rolled a d6 and I got a 6. My current stress is a 1, which gets me to a 7.
7. Okay, so you are being sneaky. You do succeed at that. Doesn't cancel your action, but it doesn't sit right with you. You've explained it away. You've justified it. Oh yes, decompression. These idiots. Why would they do this? And then, although you joke about space tigers and stuff, what you saw is playing on your mind. These big gouges in the doors. This something, and you just start to worry, and as a result, your stress level goes up. So you're now at 2. Conveniently, you're by yourself. Otherwise, everyone else within a close arena to you would also have their stress level go up. As you sort of nervously start to twitch a little bit, you're just sort of a little bit on edge until I say otherwise. But yes, your stress level goes up to 2. But you did pass your sneaking. I just need to now roll to see if I find you.
I who, mother?
Just a friendly Fiona in the neighborhood.
You make it to the med lab.
Sorry.
It's fine.
No. You make it to the med lab. And as you open it, the light actually in here is quite good. You think the med lab and sciences, because this is a science vessel overall, it seems to be protected, maybe it's on its own power system. And it's quite an interesting site. You've been in med labs before, Davis, but this one seems really kitted out. You can see as you enter the med lab, so around, enhance. You see around here, as you sort of come in, down towards your left, you can see some doors leading to a quarantine area where medipods would be. You're very familiar with these on sort of longer trips. Any sort of minor surgeries or minor procedures would be done by these big sort of pod-like things, very similar to cryotubes in a way. You can see the doors to that are currently closed, but on the door itself, you see that it's sort of like the vital signs of these two, not the vital signs, but like the working order of the two medipods, and they're the poorly medipods. You can see that one of them, it says malfunction on it. In front of you in the Medilab itself, you can see there is, just reading it, in front of you on like a table, there are really big jars, like the old-fashioned ones you might have seen in like a biology lab. And there are things inside them. In 2 jars, floating, seems to be roughly the size of like a small rabbit, a creature, 2 creatures, one in each jar, sort of white, sort of legs curled up a little bit, and a long tail like a scorpion, just sort of floating in these jars, sort of curled up. You also see on a far shelf a smaller specimen jar containing, although Davis wouldn't know this, a similar fungal node, similar to the things that Cham was clearing out of the shaft, just in a jar on a shelf. But on the desk next to you, there is like a metallic urn, which is open. And inside you can see there are 4 vials, like test tubes. And inside those, well, there was 4, apologies. There are 3 intact sort of test tubes, which have some sort of black liquid in it. And the 4th one is cracked open and empty. What would you like to do?
All right, so me, the player, is going to go, fuck me, Davis. Let's get into this. So it's bright in here. It's bright enough that I can clearly and quickly see enough of these things. And that in the jar. Now look, I may have been born yesterday, but I stayed up all night to make up for it. And that that is, I don't like that. I don't like those things in the jar. If I was anyone else, if I did not want what I came for so bad, I would probably back out of this room and immediately call Miller and everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But I came here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. And so I'm going to keep my eye on the table with the jars, because those are creeping me out. And I'm just going to kind of try to scoot my way over to the other side of the room where I can see the pharmacy.
Yes. Make for me then, if you're sort of going to search the room to see what you can find to help you, I would suggest doing let's go for, it's a wits observation check. You are looking around trying to find stuff to help you, whilst at the same time keeping an eye on what's going on there. So yes, your wits observation plus stress, please.
All right, wits observation is 5, which is a 4, a 2, a 6, and a 2.
Ooh.
And then my stress, 2d6, a 6 and a 3.
Oh, 3 successes. Amazing. So I'll tell you what you find, but you also have some additional successes, which we can do stunts on. We'll do that in a second. So you actually find quite a bit in your sort of like, again, keeping an eye on stuff, but you know what to look for. You find 4 personal medikits that are sort of hidden in a cupboard that you can take. You also find, I need to roll something. Oh, that's exciting. You find 5 doses of a type of drug known as never sleep pills. You also, with that success, under the desk, sort of behind the sci-fi version of a waste paper bin, you find another medikit that is different to the others. It seems almost like just the way as soon as you sort of pick it up, you feel it's much cooler. And as you sort of have a quick glance around it, you notice that it is holding sort of 6, I can't remember what the star 6 sort of inoculations of containing some sort of, I was going to say syrup, not syrup, fluid. Not syrup, bad syrup. Six sort of 6 inoculations in a very coolant medikit there as well. This takes you some time, so I would ask you, Davis, to roll me an air supply check.
All right, I'm down to 4 air. No, not 84. Damn. Please don't roll 86. All right, I got a 6, a 6, a 1, and a 4.
Nice. Yeah, you're fine in terms of that. Yeah, you kept it managed on your breath. That does remind me that you did have some stunts as well. Let me go to my stunts. There we go.
So many tools with which to fuck us over, Fiona. I'm sorry, that's so hard to keep on top of them all.
Oh no, woe is me.
Let me rifle through my folder of consequences.
Oh no. Okay, Annika, you can ask me 2 questions because you rolled some extra successes. Like we did it last session with somebody else, I think it was Miller. So the 3 questions are: is it coming for me? Are there more of them close by? How do I get in, past, away? Which I appreciate that's very sort of maybe combat in terms of observation, but I will also allow you to ask me any question as well to make it a bit more flexible. So you've got those 3 questions or any question, and I will try and answer.
Okay. So here are my 2 questions. My first one is, do I hear any unusual sounds?
Let me roll for it. I will let you know. 2, 4, 6, 8. You do not hear any unusual sounds.
Okay. Then my second question is... is there anything else? Is there anything in the lab that I should really take a closer look at?
Now, is this Davis asking this question, or is this Annika asking this question?
This is Davis wondering to herself before she leaves if there's anything in the lab that she should really take a closer look at, but that is also Annika's question to the GM.
Yeah, no. So I would say you haven't checked the Medipods yet.
Okay. So Davis she's kind of rummaged around. She's found all this really good gear. I've gone ahead. I've stuffed the smaller med packs in my extra pockets. I love having extra pockets. I popped one of the never sleeps in half. Don't let no one say that I'm not. I told you, man. I'm trying. Woo. I feel better now. I feel better. In fact, I feel so much better that before I call everybody down here to be like, what the fuck is all this? I'm going to make sure I've got all the information. I definitely don't feel a sense of chemical invulnerability. That would be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in charge of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to walk over towards the door with the med pod where it says that one of them is offline. But before I open them, I'm going to try to see if I can peek through and like see what's inside the room before I try to open a door.
Of course. And that makes total sense that you would do that. You can see through this sort of corridor. It's currently like you don't press the button to go into the corridor, I'd say. But you definitely see that one of the Medipods, which you maybe have experience of, maybe you've been in one, maybe you've had loved ones or colleagues that have also used one. When you sort of go in, the plexiglass, the plexi tube sort of comes over and they're sort of encased, usually with a privacy mode up, so you don't necessarily see what is in there. But you can tell instantly which one is offline because that plexiglass tube is splintered and shattered with the glass out. And then the other one is sealed and lit from the inside. But you can see, even from this distance, there is a covering of some sort. of sort of a rust cover from the inside of the plexiglass.
All right. Well, there is chemical courage, and then there is foolishness. And Davis is feeling courageous, not foolish.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it may say that one is offline, but I've been inside those med pods. Look, I jacked a leg up a while ago. I spent like 13 hours in one of those getting a whole bunch of muscles and ligaments rebuilt. And they're clear. Like they're clear. So if there's something on the inside, then both those pods are broken because there's something has grown there. Either something's grown or something's exploded. Nothing's exploded, so something has grown. I don't know. I'm now worried that we're dealing with like a fungus or a mold or like some kind of crazy space mold. They make cordyceps, space cordyceps. Like Davis is letting her mind go real wild.
Mm-hmm.
She's a little bit like, you know, I'm now at a 7 on panic. I got a twitch. I'm a little bit high. I'm like, you know what? The chemical courage is starting to fade to let me go find my friends. Friendship is magic. I'm gonna try to back out of the room.
Yep.
At this point, would it be okay if Miller tries to contact Davis?
Yes, I think definitely spooking Davis out as they see this, like, oh. So yes, definitely. Please go ahead.
And I'll keep this to actually a private line. And I'll explain. Listen, I'm at the lower deck with Wilson. Something's not adding up. Space Tiger or whatever the heck was here. I'm convinced the people here purposely were trying to keep something here, and we're trying to purposely keep the ship grounded. One of the pilot comms is completely axed. This is a hard ask, because I love saying it to you and you love hearing it. You're a great pilot. But I'm going to ask you to come and take a look at the other piloting comm here. And I'm going to ask you to make sure this ship doesn't fly.
So I hollered the second I heard your voice. I screamed, jumped, but I listened. And my voice shakes as I go, oh, I think before I come up to the bridge, you should come down to Med Bay.
Why are you in the Med Bay?
You know why I'm in the Med Bay.
I know why you're in the Med Bay.
Look, Miller, for real, come to the Med Lab. Now.
Shit. I'm with Wilson. But
look, at this point, I don't know if I give a fuck if you bring Wilson or not. We might need. It's like, look, at this point, bring Wilson and look at her face. Look at their face, because I need to know before we do anything else. Does Wilson know why we're here? Because when you see this shit, come look at this shit. Look, I don't know. Bring Wilson, don't bring Wilson. I don't care. But Miller, come look at this shit.
All right.
Because you said you hollered, you now hear a noise above you. Fuck. But we're going to go back to Ryan Cham just briefly.
You're so mean.
I just don't know what you're talking about. So at this point, Ryan Cham, I would love you to do me an air supply check as you are working on stuff.
Okay.
And to be honest, I'm mostly lounging around, shooting the shit, telling stories, singing shanties, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 1 on one of my 2 dice, so now I'm down to 1 air.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so as you sort of finishing up, you notice that it's sort of indicating you to go refuel.
I'm good.
Right, I'm really low on air now. Do you think I should head back to the Montero and stock up?
You could do, but it might be quicker. I'm pretty sure there's some suits here.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
might be able to find a way to restock here.
that's a good shout. Okay.
Yeah, you would note that there would, again, it's indicated that there are EVA suits like storage, so you could go investigate for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I did fine on my roll.
Great.
I'd also like to be the opposite snot-nosed little rules lawyer kid. Because I've been sitting in a relatively secure place for a while, does my stress level go down?
It does. I'm going to say for you two, because you are just working away, you are lower things. But I'm going to ask you, Darcy, because I know you said it off stream. But asking you now, you said you're doing sea shanties and stuff. Are you playing with the motion tracker?
At some point within the space of 4 hours, I would definitely at least like pop it out, turn it on, if only to familiarize myself with it, because I'm not sure if I would have ever used anything like this before.
Of course.
So
that
I'm
makes
just,
sense.
booting it up, learning the numbers.
Yeah, that makes
Beep,
sense. Beep, boop, indeed. There we go. Motion tracker.
There's a beep boop.
There is a
just
beep
saying.
boop.
I
I
have
mean,
a little beep boop. Have you ever played Alien Isolation? It's that.
Unfortunately.
Cool. Yeah, I think if anything, Rye does say beep boop as it turns on silently.
But in a Liverpudlian accent. Beep boop.
Beep boop. Yeah, absolutely. Rye, I'd like you to make for me a wits observation check as you turn on the motion tracker.
I'm great at those. Oh god. There's one success.
Good.
And I rolled a 1 on my stress die.
Cool.
One stress die.
Your one stress die. So we'll come to the panic roll in a second, but I need you to do me a power supply for your motion tracking. So yes, so similar sort of thing to the air thing. So you just roll, you've got level 5 for that. So just roll that, and you've got a 1. The battery starts to deplete.
So 5 d6s and a 1 it depletes.
Yes, exactly.
6, 1, 5, 5, 3.
All right, so you're at power level 4 for your motion tracker.
That's
Good to know. And then we'll do the panic roll, if that's okay.
Sure, let's do that. Just 1d6, right? Because my stress
1d6?
level did go down.
Yep, 1d6. 5. Perfect. Yes, it's interesting. You click on the motion tracker. You go through a few of the channels. You beep boop.
I do.
You do beep boop. There is movement.
Oh god.
Near you. It's coming south of you just now. So you're outside. I appreciate we're on the lower. We're on map B just now. I'm on the wrong page. So, but you are, I would say, 1 level up next to the air scrum shaft there. There is movement, pings, essentially, sort of long distance away from you in the south. You think it's coming from the cryo chambers.
And off the top of my head, the last time we checked in, nobody from our team was anywhere near there.
Correct.
And I've got no reason to think that Davis went that way to get to the med bay.
To the bathroom.
To take a big old dump.
Yes. I think, no, they would have got, she would have gone up following, because you would have all, again, presumably Captain Miller would have said, stairwells is out, don't use the lifts in an emergency, take the junction down. So she would have gone up north.
Okay. I think the panic almost sets in, and it's less of an expulsion. It's more of just a really deep, sharp intake of breath in that, oh shit. But I think she's quite a logical person, and she's trying to rationalize it immediately. She manages to tamp down the anxiety with, nope, there has to be a reason for this. And she'll jump straight on comms and just confirm. Nobody's gone down south, right? Nobody's near the cryo chambers right now.
At the level we went in? No. Do you believe we're all on the on B level?
Nobody's south side of the ship. Everybody's up north.
We're on the bridge.
North side.
Okay, there's somebody else on this ship.
They dislodged the cryopods. Is it possible somebody got loose?
If they did, they're moving around.
You keep a note of it, Rye, and it disappears. Whatever was moving has stopped moving or has moved out of range.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to believe in coincidence enough to think that that's 2 sensors blips in one day. I'm going to believe that one's real. There's someone down south. Did I get what level?
Within long range, so within long range of you. So that's roughly. Again, I know we're not using this map. It's more sort of a thematic thing rather than a combat thing, but several zones away from you, so towards the edge of the ship.
But likely on the same level, or is it possible?
Likely. The motion trackers don't necessarily say depth. You see what I mean?
Well, it just so happens I'm going to go meet Davis. Maybe it was Davis moving around.
Davis has gone to the bathroom.
Yeah, the bathroom.
Yeah.
Had something she wanted to show me.
Oh God. And you're going? You've taken her up on that invitation?
It's Davis.
What does that mean?
That means it's Davis.
Yeah, I know, you know, and you know, I know, you know, you know.
Okay.
Just make sure she's all right, yeah, and you be all right as well. You got a weapon. Don't go alone. Why is Davis on their own?
We're not all right on this ship.
No, we're definitely not.
We need to be back on the Montero. We need to carry whatever we need to carry.
There it is. We get what we came for. We get our payday and we get out.
All right, I'm gonna go check. Thanks for the heads up.
Anytime.
And I'll turn over to Wilson and say, Davis got curious. We're going to go meet Davis. I'm curious too.
So we're just going to wander down into the... Great. Listen, you go be with your people. I'll see if I can't get into that suite. It might be better if we might get more done if we split up that way.
I think it's better to stick together because we don't know the situation down here. There's signs of violence. And if something goes bad, again, pointing at like the blinking indicator on wherever the R is, you're not in any shape to be on your own.
I can make myself pretty scarce.
Which, if trouble happens, ends up being a liability, putting the rest of us in further danger. I think the book says something about minimizing potential liabilities.
The book also talks about delegation of resources.
The book also says to listen to the commanding officer of a crew. Mother, is this an instance of using Miller's command talent, pull rank?
Yes. You want to read that out?
Yeah.
So yes, so all of our player characters have a special unique ability called talents, and Miller is going to try and use pull rank. So do you want to read that out for us?
Yes. Miller's, as an officer, has a talent called pull rank. You can use your command skill to order other non-officer PCs and NPCs around, as long as they belong to the same organization as you. Mm-hmm. To force someone to follow your orders and perform a specific action, you roll command against the target's manipulation. If successful, the target must follow your order, even if it means harm or danger to themselves. Your stress level increases by 1 each time you do this. Also note that each roll only covers one specific action. You cannot stop actions triggered by panic rolls, including using this talent. So my command would be, accompany me to where Davis is.
Right.
All right, so for you, Miller, I need you to roll an empathy command check plus stress, and that's going to be against Wilson's empathy manipulation plus stress. And basically, when it's an opposed roll like this, the highest successes wins. So if you have more successes, Captain Miller, this will happen. But again, we'll discuss it as a group collaboratively.
Plus. So that's empathy plus command.
Empathy plus command. Yep, that's correct.
I'm rolling 10 dice here.
Yeah.
As am I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Battle
do
of the
this.
wits.
Shit. One success and one on the stress die.
All right, we'll come back to that in a second then. So we've got one success so far.
Yeah, I wish this would have been better.
Wilson.
2 successes.
Damn it.
Oh. Unfortunately, it does not happen this time, Captain Miller. Your stress level, I will say, goes up once you do the panic roll.
Okay.
Okay, because you tried to use it and it didn't succeed. So if you do a panic roll for me.
Which is my current stress, which is 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
A 5 and an 8.
No.
Sorry,
so roll 1d6 plus 2.
Plus 2, that's the 2 I'm thinking of.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Don't panic! Don't panic!
I was panicking. Okay, I lost the d6. No, the next one. I rolled a 1 plus 2, total 3.
Oh, keeping it
Lucky.
together. You and so your stress goes up because of the command talent. But yes, you are barely keeping it together. You are demanding that Wilson.
I'm feeling my voice shake. Like I am trembling as I'm trying to sound authoritative.
Yes.
I'm trying to just like will Wilson to do what I want, but Miller believes that her delivery, that tremble, that shake in her voice, just like not selling it.
Yeah. Your voice cracks for sure. And so Wilson, yes.
Wilson here sees it and just like lets you finish and like lets that hang in the air for like 2 seconds before saying, I seem to recall you being very concerned with what is on this ship. And I believe that it is not just yours, but all of our best interests if I just take 5 minutes, crack open that office, find out anything I can on this terminal, because the more information that we all have, the better off we are. Take care of your people. I just need you for just one moment to trust me.
That you might not get, but you get 5 minutes.
I'll take
I'll be
5.
back.
All right, let's cut back to Davis.
No.
Davis,
it's fine.
Yeah, totally. You hear movement above you, and you sort of your eyes snap up to a vent, and you swear you heard something go over your head, like quick, something like a sudden quick movement. I want to know, what do you do in this moment?
Now, did I hear like a skitter like a rat, or did I hear a thump 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 like a person?
It seemed much bigger than a rat.
Cool, I'm good. So is it between me and the door?
Let's say for dramatic purposes, yes.
Okay. So Davis is going to kind of slide against the, kind of put back, slit her back's against the wall, and kind of slide away from because last time I think I'm still standing pretty close to the med pod doors.
You
So
are.
if it's between the med pod, then I'm gonna try sliding around the other way. So I'm like, now there's a whole bunch of space directly between me and the door. I'm like across from the door on the
Mhm.
back wall.
I see, yeah.
And I'm going to kind of reach behind me in the drawers,
Mm-hmm.
kind of looking for anything I could put my hands on that might
Mhm.
be weapony, while I quietly this time tap into my comms and go, Miller, I need you to hurry.
I said I was
There's
on my way.
No, Miller, I need you here now. I need you and everybody here now. There is something in here with me.
Davis, I need you to do an agility mobility check.
All right.
You're quietly communicating as you're trying to rummage around in a drawer.
Lord, stop trying to be 87. Why does it want me to roll 80 fucking dice today? 7d6. All right. I got a 6, a 5, a 5, a 4, a 4, a 2, and a 1.
Is the one on the stress die?
No, my stress die. No, my stress dies were a 3 and a 4.
Perfect. Good to know. So you are like, hurry the fuck up. You're sort of doing that very much like a stage whisper. And your hand, you go into draw and you come across. This is where my brain fails me, but basically tools that you would use in a medical lab. Definitely, maybe. I don't want to say hand saws. That's not what I'm thinking of. But certainly, like certain tools that would help with maybe dissection.
Scalpels and such, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Wilson. Yes, exactly that sort of thing. So you definitely have access to a very small but very sharp implement. And you wait. You wait. For each breath, taking a moment. 3, 4, 6, 8. Make for me now, Davis, a wits observation check as you're listening hard to see if you can hear.
All right. Wits observation. That's 5d6.
Crew members, can I get some backup at the south side of the ship? I'm heading there now.
Oh, I whiffed that one. Just know that I got no successes. I got 2 1s on that wits observation, and for my stress rolls, and I got a freaking 1 on one of my stress dice.
Oh no!
Damn.
Oh dear. Okay, never panic.
Look, so all y'all better be glad in chat that I don't have my guns out because I'd accidentally shoot my captain. I'm freaked the fuck out. See, I was doing the right thing grabbing a scalpel.
Might be a better way to go, though.
So yeah, a panic roll for me, please.
All right.
As you say that on comms, Captain, Rye might panic a little. Wait, south. You said she wasn't south.
It's deck B. We saw the weird stuff on deck A, right?
That's where there was movement. Fuck.
You didn't say which deck.
I don't know. The motion sensor doesn't tell you. Fucking get there.
Davis is down there.
What was the result of your panic roll?
It was 6.
6. So even though you were twitching, you're like, you start taking in the deep breaths. You are keeping it together. Miller, you can arrive at any point.
Yeah, if now I'm telling there's movement specifically south, and I'm not sure what's happening. I've seen bodies with parts missing. I've seen signs of a fight. I've seen people defending themselves and trying to destroy the ship, is Miller's conclusion. She's going to have her gun drawn out and ready. And she's going to walk quietly, but firmly with purpose. She's not stomping or running, but she's just like walking steadily and bracing. Like, okay, this just needs a firm touch. We just need some eyes on the situation. I've called for backup. I know where Davis is. There's no such thing as space tigers.
All right. Yes, you slowly making your way in. If you are stealthing, which sounds like you are, do for me an agility mobility check, please, plus your stress.
That's
I don't know.
normal.
Are you
Normal. I'm
normal? A normal amount.
Plus stress. Oh no. Ooh. 2 successes.
Fantastic. Yes. So you almost melt into bits of the shadows. Essentially, you take your time and you make your way slowly, but you don't seem to have alerted anything.
And as I'm just kind of quietly trying to be a calming voice, like, Davis, describe what you are seeing. Detail it out. I am on my way, but talk to me.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, look, Miller, I've got my back against the wall in med bay. I've got my eyes on the door. I will see you when you come in. You have got to be quiet when you come in. There's something in the Miller, there's something in the fucking roof, man.
Okay.
And
I'm coming.
No, there's some fucking horseshoe crabs from hell in little Venus stars and there's some mold or something they've blown out one of the fucking med pods. Miller, something is not right here, dude. This is not
Wilson.
okay. I am not high enough for this.
Arm
Right?
yourself.
Please help
And
me.
for fuck's sake, don't shoot me when I come in.
Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you're having a little trip to the corporate suite.
That's right.
So yeah, so easy enough. You let Captain Miller head off. Maybe you do a little ironic wave.
Yeah, they just stand in the hallway and watch Miller's silhouette just disappear into the darkness.
Yes. So you can make your way to the corporate suite. Let me find you your little bit of text for this. Oh, I've got to get past the maps. So, that's not where I thought it was. There we go. This, you open the door, and it is, you know what? You instantly go, oh, why wasn't this on the Montero? It is a wardroom of lusciousness, spaciousness, or at least it was at one point. The bed is completely soaked in blood. The couch and all the cushion stuffing has been torn out, and most of the furniture in this room has been destroyed. You can also see that across from you there is like a wardrobe of some sort, but it feels like this whole room has been overturned by something or someone. What would you like to do?
Well, I always wanted a corporate office. Didn't imagine it being this color. They step into across the threshold, looking around, taking it all in, and then look for a desk with a terminal or anything like that.
There is no desk. What you do see is a wet bar of some sort, which is practically been cleaved in two. All the bottles have been smashed, and there's one or two sort of haphazardly left around. But what catches your eye is a safe in the wall. And you look at it, and it looks like it needs a key code of some sort.
Great. Let's engage with some mechanics while we do this. So Wilson reaches into the suit and pulls out that Wayland Yutani key card, which is their signature item, actually. And it's just kind of like, you know, the thing that people do with the pens when they kind of click them across their fingers? Wilson is like idly like twiddling it as best as one can in chunky compression suit gloves, kind of back and forth, like while walking around.
Yes. So
everyone's got secrets.
With that, because I would say you're using your signature item. So once per session, you can use a signature item to reduce your stress level by 1. So you can do that, Wilson.
That's right. Everyone's got skeletons in their closet. I hope it's not literal here. What are you hiding? They try the key card, not really expecting it to work, because the clearance goes up onto the bridge, but not necessarily an individual's safe code, unless it doesn't have a slot, right? Is it just a numpad?
It looks like it is a numpad, yes.
In which case they're just like still twiddling it,
Mm-hmm.
and then starts turning the place over looking for a code. If there's any notepads, data slate, anything like that.
Good question. I think this is a wits observation check as you're starting to slowly go through this room and find what you're looking for. So wits observation plus skill. Skill? Stress.
Stress
Ugh.
is like a skill.
I mean, I'm clearly having it right now. So
3 successes.
Oh, how exciting. So actually we can again do that thing so you would succeed, but also you can ask me 2 questions as well. But I'll tell you what you find first. You look around the room and there's not much left. Whoever or whatever was in this room has clearly overturned it. There is no data pad, there's no scrap of paper that says password 123 on it, unfortunately. Until you get to the walk-in closet. And actually, as you look at it, you can see that it is actually an entry point. And as you sort of push past, almost Narnia style, looking through the back of the closet, you see there is an emergency escape sort of vehicle, a pod, an escape pod at the back, which is clearly a small specialized one for use of any corporate agents aboard. You having a quick look around and a check of its systems, it is functional. But it is shut currently and also requires some sort of numpad code. But looking into the convenient observation porthole, as all escape pods have in my view, you can see that there are 3 cryopods in it, empty currently.
Okay, and it hasn't been opened. It doesn't appear to. Okay.
Doesn't appear to. It seems like it is asking for a code to be inputted.
Got it. Well, that's nice. They just kind of like gently paw their fingers over the glass.
Yeah.
Let
Let me in. Yeah. Let me in. Conan O'Brien meme, yeah.
Right. Wait for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep looking around for information. Are there any personal logs or identifying accoutrement?
Not in this room, unfortunately, with that check you did. Does any data pad or any sort of info log that would have been around seems to have been smashed up or just not existing in this particular room. Whilst you're doing that for me, Wilson, could you roll me an air supply check?
Ah, yes. Nothing.
Nothing. You're fine. You're super cool. You're like, I found my bedroom. This is mine. I own it. So yes, very good. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Wilson, at this point?
The blood on the bed.
Yeah. Oh yes, that feature. Yeah.
Yeah. That. Is it possible to determine anything about what caused all of the blood spatter? Are there signs of a struggle or?
Is a very good question. Yeah, I'm going to ask you if you wish to know. Actually, I don't want to make you roll for it because I feel like I've made you roll for quite a lot of things just now. So I think you can determine, looking at it, that the whole bed has been stained. It definitely looks like something has clawed at a bedspread, but there's no signs of a body. And actually, as you look around, there doesn't seem to be any footprints, any sort of bloody marks, like crawling away from the bedspread, if you see what I mean. So it looks like somebody or something was injured in the bed and then has disappeared.
And to clarify, when you say something has clawed at the bed, do you mean like someone with their human hands has like gripped the sheets in like a throw of stress or something, or like something with its inhuman claws has shredded at the mattress?
You remember, Wilson, on one of your days that Waylon Yutani maybe had an off day. You'll watch that classic film of Edward Scissorhands, and you recognize that sort of the sort of waterbed scene from that being very similar, maybe an inspiration for this scene.
Great. Lovely.
Look at that niche reference there for all you.
Right. Very
all
specific.
Specific, but I feel that this team would get it. Okay.
Great.
In that case, I'd like to just, again, pan the camera up because you've all conveniently split up. Back to Cham and Rai. So, Cham, at this point, you have finally finished the last, and maybe you give it a bit of a push with your hand, and the fans start to turn. And all of you would get a notification at this point is that the air is starting to circulate and fresh air is starting to come through the system, but it will take a few more turns. You think roughly maybe about 4 or 5. What are you doing, Cham, at this point?
I think that I would have heard Miller calling for backup in medbay, but I'm pretty concerned about my oxygen, so I would want to go and see if there's any oxygen around the storage area with the suits.
Yes, conveniently, obviously, we can see it. There's Butu there. Yes, so again, you and Rai would probably... you would have heard Rai obviously talk about the movement as well. But looking up on your map, you can see that there are... sorry, looking at the notes. Yes, you can see that there would be EVA suit storage on the 2nd level that you can go and either borrow, change into perhaps, but it's also a quick walk really back to the Montero, depending on how you feel.
Yeah, I think I'll stay on the Cronus and try my luck with the with vestibule 2, see how I go. And I'll just be like, Rai, I really need to sort my oxygen. It's going to be a while before the air supply actually kicks in, so I just want to make double sure I'm not going to run out. So I'm just going to pop downstairs.
Yeah, I'm coming with you. There's no way I'm leaving you and go wandering on your own.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't pretend not to be pleased about that. Cool, let's go.
I know, I'm pretty good company. You're welcome.
Yeah, good. Okay.
We're gonna go and see we're gonna go and check on Miller and Davis after that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
All right, so you two make your way down to junction B1, which we can see, and then you sort of go off to the EVA suits thing. As you open the door, Rai, you see it, and Cham, you recognize it. Over in a corner, there is this horrible, it looks like mold essentially, but spread up all against the wall. These horrible sort of the way I'm describing it is almost like seaweed, but almost like liquid egg sacs in the seaweed growing up the wall. And it's surprising because it almost it shocks you a little bit, like, oh god, seeing it, because it's sort of there by the EVA suits.
What the fuck is that?
In the light of your headlights, you can see ever so slightly the eggs are sort of pulsing.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay. Yeah, there was some stuff a bit like this in the air scrubber shop, but this is okay. I didn't get a good look. This is gross. This is bad.
And it was like this.
I was just kind of shoving it out the way. I wasn't looking at it too closely.
I don't blame you. That's grotesque.
Seeing this stuff on the wall, can both Cham and Rai increase their stress level by 1, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
as you are both talking to each other, you see one of the eggs sort of open. And that's where we're going to leave it tonight, because I just saw what time we were on. And I want to make sure people get their outros. Good job, team. You restored the air to the cross, which is quite important. Or is it?
Is it?
Wah, wah.
My backup.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's what a wonderful session. Thank you so much for bearing with us, being with us. Excitement. Yes. I'm going to pass it around my cast to do the outros in the same order that we did our intros. So I'm going to pass it over to our wonderful pilot, who's definitely hasn't died yet, Davis Arnica.
I told y'all I'm gonna make it to the end. Said the bitch who lived it was beautiful. You won't. I'm make terrible decisions and make it to the end, like the babysitter from 13th Ghost. Hi, I've been Arnica Ross. I'm Leah Davis, your pilot, and it's been so much fun playing. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Hive at Arnica X Ross. And as for my upcoming schedule, I will be. Ooh, I got the weekend off, and then I will be here Monday night for the series finale of my show. Wish We Weren't Here. Our terrible, horrible, no good, very bad road trip to save reality. My cast has been working their ass off. Whatever you have seen, you ain't seen shit yet. We coming out of pocket hard all night Monday. On Tuesday, catch us in Helicon City as we do masks with Anita the Lesbian. Fantastic GM. On Wednesday, jump over to Valorant's Twitter channel where I will be playing Effie Isharet, the Andalite in Morphs on the Bayou. I take Thursdays off, and then I'll be back here Friday again. Exhausting. Someone else do this for me.
Thank you so much, Arnica.
Hi, I've been Reina and will continue to be. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha and Lattes. I also write and publish tabletop role-playing games at colorspraygames.itch.io. I'm a voice actor for the queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama The Penumbra Podcast. If you want to hear yourself represented in stories, that's at The Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepενумbrapodcast.com. If you're a fan of telenovelas and role-playing games, I would keep an eye out on Magpie Games' social media coming up next week for a very spicy, very special actual play surprise. I'm going to leave it at that and say that you should not miss it. It's going to be a fun time.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. Exciting. Thank you so much, Raina.
Cannot imagine what that game could possibly be. Hey friends, it's me, Jessie Darcy. I use she, they pronouns. I've been playing Rye, who uses she, her pronouns. I'm a writer, game designer, performer, producer, a bunch of things, director of operations here at Girls on These Worlds. You can find me on Twitter at jcdarcy_, and you can find me here on Wednesday. I had to think really, really carefully about that. Wednesday is the mid-season finale of Lancer, Loving the Time of Mechs. I was super queer, super femme, good at getting robots and blow each other up and then kiss and make up about it. And then I'll be back on Friday. I'm taking it light. I'm taking it easy. That's me.
Amazing. Thank you, Darcy.
I've been Maddie Searle. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Maddie_abstract and head to the link in my bio to find out all the many weird things that I do. Specifically, the first episode of High School of Horror is out on the Realms of Peril and Glory podcast. That is a game that we did a while back using Grant Howitt's Dead Channel system. It was very fun. I got to basically be Chloe from Life is Strange and had a great time. There'll be a few more episodes of that over the coming weeks. And I'm in loads of other games on that podcast already, so you can always go back on the feed and have a look at that. And if you want to have a fun time being a vampire cowboy, I did a hack of Lasers and Feelings called Vampire Cowboys. So if you just search my name on itch.io, you can find that.
Amazing. Well, I didn't know I needed that thing until right now, Maddie, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'll pass it over to our captain.
Hi everyone, I'm Ida. My pronouns are she and her, and it's been a wild ride. There's no such thing as space tigers. You can find me at In the Pan on Twitter and on wonderful games such as tomorrow at Balrog 1911. We're continuing our game of Brinkwood, where we are brigaders and we are brigands, and we're going to smash some vampire aristocracy. Always great fun. On Tuesdays, I will be resuming Convergence Manifest, which is an Eberron game. at Horde of Tales, where my character just died. Like dead. Like dead. I'm still at the table. You might just see me eating popcorn on screen every now and then. Please join. Let's see. And I just want to give a quick shout out. I also give a lot of my time and energy to a wonderful group called Roll for Good. It's a primarily EU, UK community that does TTRPG streamed events for charity. And we are slowly starting to wake up the giant machine. And keep an eye on my socials and at Roll for Good on Twitter for information about how to get involved, how to support, how to sign up as a GM and player. Information will slowly start coming out about that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. How exciting. Oh,
Yes.
So many cool things happening.
And also, last thing, if I may.
Please, of course. Yes.
Fuck turfs. Thank you.
Damn, that goes my recommendation. Oh, well. My name is Fiona. I have been your host this evening, but I also, when I'm not scaring people and getting delighted when they go, I shout this, I'm like, do you? Excellent. I also run What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast. I also am the co-host of the DM's Book Club, so if you like the Dragon game and you like listening about lore, come join me, who doesn't know much about it but likes to talk about it and implementing it and making it better for everyone. And as always, I think it's nice to do a recommendation. And I want to be serious for a moment because I know it's not a great week in general, and I want to make it not obvious, but I think it's a hard time both in the LGBT community, but especially in the trans community with stuff that's going on. A certain game has been released today. So my recommendation is that if you want to have a role-playing game that involves magic, involves wizards and witches and growing up and having coming-of-age stories, I want to recommend Kids on Brooms, which is by Doug Lewandowski, John Gilmore, and I think it's Sam Spencer as well. I can't remember the last name on that. Because Spencer Stark, thank you very much. Because today, if you go and buy Kids on Brooms, 100% of the profits get donated to trans charities. Doug Lewandowski's put out a tweet of that himself, and I signal boosted it. And so even if you've already got it, please donate to your local trans charities because they really fucking need it right now. And as Ida said, fuck TERFs. Please go check it out. It is so important, and especially when we're here creating these stories, we want to involve everyone at the table, no matter their background, who they are welcome here. And I think it's something like that is very important. So if you want to support a really good cause and play an amazing role-playing game, because the kids on bikes or Kids on Brooms, or Teens in Space, their system is really good fun as well. All the systems, but especially all the profits will go to trans local causes. And finally, I'm going to wrap up with some channel announcements, if that's all right. So let's get a happy face on. So if you're like, oh, Fiona's an okay game mother, but I can make a much better story. I've got all these ideas. I don't know if they'll accept it. We have the creator app at Girls Run These Worlds. If you have a story you'd like to tell, we here at Girls Run These Worlds want to help you get it off the ground. We've got the pinned form in. We've got the form in our pinned tweet, and we are on Twitter, so that's Girls Run Worlds, and that's exactly what I did. I had the idea of running Alien in general, and here I am today. And we'd love to hear from Black, Indigenous, people of color wanting to do one-shots and limited series. So please go for it out and support those people. We want to hear those stories on this channel. Upcoming shows, we've got Mythic Odyssey of Theros, which has its mid-season finale on Sunday. How exciting. And I think one of our players has already said it, but wish you weren't here. The finale is on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Finally, because I'm an old lady, I don't know how raids work, okay? But apparently we're going to do a raid. Woohoo! Yes, thanks to Tabernaut, who came and raided into our channel earlier. Thank you so much for that and supporting us in it. We're going to raid back into their channel because they are running, shock horror, a Kids on Brooms RPG marathon all weekend to raise money for Mermaids UK. Because as we always say, fuck TERFs. So please... Yeah, fuck TERFs. Say it loud at the back. So please stick around, go watch the game, and then go buy the game and give money to local causes. And I think that's it. I don't have anything else. My brain is on the floor as game mother, so I need to go pick that up and check out with my fellow teammates and crew members. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Fuck TERFs, and good night.
Bye.